only if you are ready for it. Only if you are ready to give me your attention, without any judgment, without any comparison. Just be there and listen to me. Listen to me without any agreement. Because this video does not need your agreement. This video, it needs your attentiveness. It needs your being to be able to sit here with me with open heart and open mind. Everything starts with my own awakening. Everything starts with my own self-realization. And I want you to do exactly the same thing that I did. Because I know that will be the gateway for every human being to free him or herself out of this bondage. I was a very scientific person all my life. I questioned everything. Since I was a child, I questioned my existence. No matter whatever I was doing, no matter wherever I was looking, I was always coming across this one question: what's the point of all this? Why no one can answer this question? At least to me. As a child, I expected answers. That's how children are. I asked people, what's the point of all this? What's our purpose? No one really could answer, at least the answer that I wanted to hear. Everyone tried to project their reality onto mine, or perhaps they learned it from their religion, their preachers, they learned it from their teachers, and they thought, yeah, it makes sense. Let's just pass it on to children, to the younger generation. But the reality was, every answer was just pretty much mediocre. Some sort of bullshit. Hell, heaven, virtue, good and bad, love and hate. Very generic. As if we are fully conditioned to only blabber about these words, only talk about the duality of things. If you don't do good, then you must be a bad person. As a child, got caught into this nonsense for so many years. Especially I was growing up in an Islamic country. And perhaps Islamic conditioning is one of the toughest conditioning that any human being can go through in this life, in this modern times. Not that Christianity is any better or Judaism. No, they're all the same nonsense. They're all just businesses. One has a little bit more restrictor rule, and the other one has perhaps a little bit more open rules. But they all talk about the same thing, really. Do not enjoy this life. Wait for the next life after death and enjoy that one. If you enjoy this life, you're a sinner. They implemented this idea of sin into every human being's brain. And our brain is a very complex phenomenon. But it works very simple because the structure is clear. We might not know how it works, but we know the structure. Our brain is a computer. It's programmable. And whatever is programmable is hackable. So since you are born, they start hacking into your brain. All that education, all that spiritual beliefs, all that scientific advancement, all that civilization, all that pride, culture, tradition, pretty much all the thing that does not belong to you comes from somewhere else. It's not your being. Your being doesn't care about Jesus. Your being doesn't care about how planes fly. Not at all. Your being is concerned with you. First, your survival. Then, perhaps, your development as a human being. Survival is easy. In the modern world, pretty much everyone survives. That's why we are around 9 billion people and rising. Because surviving is easy. It's not like a long time ago, surviving was a challenge. Diseases, wars, famine. We definitely solved the biggest problem that humanity faced, survival. But on the other hand, we lost a big battle to our next problem after survival. Human experience. The biggest problem is the human experience and how we can develop ourselves to live a fulfilled life, to live a joyful and blissful life. This is where the table is turned. This is where conditioning comes in, because religion took over of this part. Science and technology took over the survival, pretty much gave the possibility to human beings to survive, to create tools, to create establishments, farms. All that knowledge that it was passed through generations. Our ancestors passed on the knowledge to be able to get to the point that we can survive easily. But then, after survival, we had more time to think. We had more time to explore this human experience. This is where religion comes in. Religion thinks it knows best for the humanity. Therefore, it creates its own ideology to be able to save this human experience, to be able to create morality, to be able to create what is good and how to make people to avoid bad, sin. It has to come up with some sort of stories, ideas, how to manipulate the crowd, how to program, hack into their brain to be able to control them. They did a great job. Mass religion, they did a great job. Not to save people, the opposite, to destroy this human experience, to destroy the spiritual experience that our ancestors had for thousands of years. Religion really did a great job to destroy it. That's why most people don't believe in a spirituality, don't even try to become a spiritual people. Because the moment you say a spirituality, that intelligent person wants to just simply reject it by his or her scientific views. They never want to try it. They simply reject it. Exactly the way I did before I had my awakening. I was so fed up with religion that I gathered so much knowledge to be able to counter all the nonsense that people were talking about the spirituality. And I did a great job. I definitely did a great job to smash so-called the spiritual peoples in a way that they don't talk about the spirituality anymore. But I was missing one thing myself, that I never really dared to try the spirituality. I never really dared to get into it because I was so scarred by it. Throughout many years of religious conditioning when I was growing up, I hated it so much. I hated religion so much that I just wanted to reject. Until one day that I was so miserable, deep agony, suffering. All of my scientific ideas were pretty much an infinite regress. I was so fed up with the world and the people and the whole experience of it. I could not see any point in it. I could not see any possibility of joy, bliss, happiness in it. I was really on the verge of ending it. Until one day I was walking past by a really nice big lake. And I saw this lonely tree. I felt its loneliness. I could see that tree. It's lonely because around it there was no other trees. I felt the tree. I felt that we are kind of the same. Then I went to it. I went to this tree and sat under it. The whole setting was ready for me to meditate. I never meditated before. I only knew about it because I studied many religious descriptions and scripts. It was a big mystery to me. And of course, I was rejecting all the spiritual ideas about it. But in that moment, I wanted to give it a try. And I did. Something profound happened to me in the first minute of that meditation. something that led me to here. Something that allows me to live in the moment and not fear past or future. I felt so good in that first minute of meditation that I could not get enough of it. From that day, I meditated for hours every single day. I was at the end of the line. I had nothing to lose. So it was easy for me to try something completely new way of living, new way of doing things, new way of looking at things, new perspective. Things have shifted for me. I was not the same person anymore. I dropped the identity that I created for myself throughout my life. And I wasn't that. I was so accustomed with it that I thought, it's me. And it wasn't. This realization was the beginning of my journey, that I am not whoever I think I am. This is just a result of my culture. This is just a result of my education. This is just a result of my conditioning. So I decided to throw all that away. Not even one more argument about something worldly. All my focus shifted toward myself. All my focus shifted toward my own body, my own being. This understanding gave me courage to explore deeper levels of myself. And that's what I want to share with you today. How to reach there, how to get there, by using a spiritual concept. That you need to be open to it. Otherwise, it most probably doesn't work. Because what works is your openness. What works is your ability to change. What works is your adaptation to the new perspective. If you want to look at it by your judgments and comparisons, you're bound to fail. You need to look at it as a child. You need to look at it with innocence. And this innocence will help you to reach bliss and joy, exactly the way that children reach it, without any obstacles. They play and they reach bliss. They play, they reach joy. I hope you were with me for the first half of this video. If not, it's okay. Perhaps listen to the next half, because this is something that can really help you to change your life, you know, in a way that you could never imagine life could be this fulfilling, life could be this blissful and this joyful. I'm not exaggerating. If you do the next half of this video right, man, you are not ready for it. In a good way. In a good way. You are not ready for it because currently you are pretty much lost. Don't take it personally. I'm talking to every person on this planet. Not only you. Everyone is lost. Everyone is looking for something. Perhaps the way out. Everyone is looking for the way out. That's just the modern world. That's just the human experience that we are having in the modern world, 21st century. Everyone is lost. No one knows what's going on. Everything seems so absurd, but at the same time, things go forward. So much agony and suffering exist in the world. But, well, at least we're having a good life, right? That's the whole mentality about it. If someone is just dying from hunger, why would I care? I have my food to eat, or at least I have to struggle to get my own food to eat. No one really wants to think about this human experience that we are going through together, you know? But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get a little bit more spiritual, huh? Don't take it literally. This whole game of spirituality is a very tricky business. The way that the mass religion exploited humanity for thousands of years, all these small, minor religion that they are popping here and there, all these spirituality nonsense that it just comes out of nowhere. It's another type of religion, you know. It's another kind of ism that you have to follow. There are certain rules. In the second half of this video, I want to teach you the art of individualism. You are not part of any ism. You are part of yourself. This is where you can free yourself. This is where you can detach from this human experience that is all about suffering and misery, no matter how poor you are or no matter how rich you are. Big chunk of you is missing, and you seem like you can't find it. That's why you're lost. You are an individual being. You are you, different than any other person on this planet. Yes, you have the similar psychology. Yes, you have the similar body. But you don't have any identical version of you anywhere else. You are unique. And yet, you choose to follow others. Yet, you choose to let others think for you. You choose the authorities, the culture, the tradition, your parents, your partner, your friends, your close friends, children. You let others make this decision for you how to live. You don't want to live on your own term because you are perhaps scared or you don't know how to. And today, I want to give you an introduction to how to get into your individualism, how to actualize your real you. It comes in 7 steps. Number 7 is very significant when it comes to spiritual teachings. You can find it in many mythologies, especially starting with Sumerian mythologies, that says God created this existence in 7 days. In the 7th day, it rested after the creation. And then the Abrahamians religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam copied the same mythology that God created this existence in 7 days and rested the last day, and they name it the God Day. But the funny part is all these 3 religions, they chose a different day for the God, because Judaism was like, the God Day is Saturday, and Christianity came, perhaps was like, no, my God is mightier than yours. The God Day is Sunday. And then Islam came afterward. Definitely their God was mightier. Same God, but a little bit mightier. So the God Day was Friday. They could not agree on their God Day for sure. But this 7 is pretty significant. To understand this number 7, there is this Eastern culture concept of chakras. With chakras, it's easy to understand this concept of number 7. And when I say chakra, I don't mean the trendy things about chakra. I'm talking about the symbolism of chakra, because it's beautiful. For thousands of years, people meditated on this possibility of self-realization, and they realized there are 7 steps. And if you go through these 7 steps, you just simply achieve it. You simply understand it, whatever it is. And we want to explore these 7 steps. Step 1 They say it's root. What does this mean? What does this symbolism mean? The root. All these 7 steps are stages of your life. It starts with root. It's pretty much concerned with your survival. Pretty much concerned with your basic instinct. From the time that you are born, you need to root. And unfortunately, in the modern world, we root very weak because we are not so connected with the nature. We are not so connected with our nature. We live pretty much disconnect with nature, disconnected with the whole natural things. From the day we are born, perhaps we are in a hospital, all these artificial lights and everything. Most people, they don't really have a strong root. And this is the first stage you need to work on. You don't need to go anywhere else. Your first step to this self-realization, your first step to free yourself from this misery that you are living, is to understand your root and how to strengthen your root, that it never got enough nourishment. How we do it, how we strengthen our root. It's very simple. You need to take responsibility for your survival. Just because survival is easy, it does not mean you should get caught into the comfort of it. Survival is a responsibility that comes with the human experience. You want it or not, it's a responsibility. Staying alive, living this life, is a responsibility. And perhaps that's why we are suffering. And children are not suffering, children are happy. It's because they don't have the responsibility. Someone else is taking care of them. But you, as an adult, you need to take responsibility. And if you don't do it, you can't reach anywhere. And this responsibility comes with a cost of letting go of so many things, because it's just holding you down. You need to let go of all your traumas. You need to let go of all that nonsense in your head that keeps on victimizing you, keeps on telling you, oh, poor you. No, there is no poor you. There is only you. And I'm going to be honest with you. The rich you, the potent you, it wants to come out. But you keep on keeping yourself down. Give yourself a chance. Love yourself. The root is the first step. You need to take control of your life. Otherwise, it will just keep on controlling you. You need to let go of all the things that is not in your control and take control of what it is in your control. If you understand this, you understood all. The second stage is your sex life. Perhaps the biggest taboo of all time. Perhaps that one education that every single human beings on this planet need and they don't receive. Because it's a big taboo, because no one wants to talk about it, because no one wants to make you aware of this sexual energy, make you aware of all this creative energy, make you aware of your godliness. Because if you become aware of your godliness, if you become aware of your ability to create another human being, perhaps you become an individual. Perhaps you don't need anyone else to tell you what to do, because you are God. You have the ability to create things. You have the ability not only to create tools, you have the ability to create life. What is more significant than this? You have the ability to reproduce and let this cycle of human experience go on. But they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to understand that how much of this orgasmic energy, how much of this orgasmic possibility that exists in you is close to that God that they talk about. I don't think I can talk so much about it in YouTube. So perhaps I will keep it for some private talks. But take control of your sexual energy. We are living in this hypersexualized world. If you're a man, I feel sorry for you. I can say it because I am a man myself. I know what you're going through. And it's okay. It's fine. It all takes a few months of practice to rewire your brain, to desexualize your brain. And then perhaps you can use that sexual energy to free your being, not your brain, not that masturbation that you always seek. No, I'm not talking about that. And if you're a woman, use this sexual energy to free yourself from this bondage. For thousands of years, woman were dominated. For thousands of years, women perhaps never really experienced orgasm. Only for the past maybe 100 years, women are achieving orgasmic experience. But still, the world is just so sexualized that still for so many women it's so hard to reach orgasm. It's because of the yeah, perhaps that's enough. It's just for me now it's hard to formulate the sentences because I don't know. I don't want this video to get down or whatever, because I can easily say things that it's not really following the terms and conditions of this platform or whatever it is. Anyway, get hold of your sexual energy. This can free you significantly. This is just like the gateway to human experience, because the root and the sixth chakra, root and six stages of life, is pretty much what we have similar to other animals. But the next stage, the second, the third stage, is where we enter human beings. Solar plexus, or your guts, your center. This is what creates human beings. When we get to a point that we can be that one person that we needed to become as an adult, if we got the right education, if we got the right type of living, then you could create a center in your adult life. But pretty much most of adults in this world are just centerless. Like, they don't really have center. They live in the root and six. No one really can come out of this because, of course, there are so many conditionings and change in this modern world that keeps you in the basic levels or the sixth level. You can't come out of it. You can't become a person with a center. You can't really be that one person that can live a life completely fulfilled without really caring for so many things. But you care. You care so much. You care what people think about you. You care about how to show yourself to others. You care too much. And when you reach to your center, you drop all these carings. You don't care anymore, because it's not yours to care. First, you need to realize this. First, you need to reach to that self-realization. And then perhaps you start caring. But at the moment, you care too much. You care what people think about you. Your parents, your partner, your children, your whatever it is, your boss, your colleagues. You always want to show that you are that capable person, that intelligent person, that whatever the society wants you to be, that reputable person, right? That gives you so much stress and anxiety. That gives you so much nonsense, so much burden in your brain that keep on thinking about it. Oh, how should I react? How should I act? Who cares? No one really cares. Look around you. No one really cares. Then perhaps you should start not caring as well. I know it's hard, but everything starts from your center. This is where meditation comes in. Center is where humanity discovered meditation. When we came out of that animal state, when we came out of that root and sex state, we started thinking, we started meditating, we created that religion. All the mass religion comes out of one person that sat and meditated for hours and hours, perhaps all their life. Buddha, Jesus, Moses, Muhammad, Ram, and thousands of others that you don't know their names. These are just trendy people that I said. There are other mystics, other prophets that existed, and they all meditated all their life. They became enlightened, they found their center, and they could share it with others. But at first they didn't care. They didn't care what others think about them. No, they wanted to share their truth, and that's why they became so significant, because they could share their truth. But what about you? Can you share your truth? No, you don't have a center. You keep on hiding your truth. You know what I'm talking about. Stop lying to yourself and stop lying to others. Start realizing your truth and start sharing your truth. All of these stages come together to make you. Perhaps I will not find some time to discuss other stages for so long. I just mentioned them, but I will talk about it in other videos, because I don't want this video to become more than 1 hour, I suppose, right? I don't know how many minutes been, but I think it's close to 1 hour. And please share your thoughts with me in the comments if you like it. I would like to hear about you. I would like to get to know you. But honestly, you care too much. Let go. Let go of the things that holds you back. And start meditating. Start meditating on yourself, and I promise you, if you do meditation every single day, awareness starts growing on you. And awareness will take care of everything. You just let it be. You just let it take you. And I will be here with you. I will be here to help you. I will be like side by side going forward. I have nothing to do except sharing my meditation with you. This is the decision that I made. And I am going to share my meditation with you. So if you stay with me, by and by we go forward, we come out of this whole nonsense that we got ourselves into, and then become that individual person, that person with the center. We don't need to become Christians, we can become the Christ, you know? Becoming a Christian is easy, but becoming Christ, that's the real value, that's the deal. Otherwise, we have billions of Christians, right? We have billions of Muslims, billions of Hindus, billions of, perhaps that are the billions, yeah. We don't have more billions religion, but yeah. It's raining now, and I need to get out of this situation. Yeah. Perhaps that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me.